Good morning, Sunday Sunday friends. Here's the squad and our final day of being in the same location and recording together. So just as a recap, we all live in various parts of I'm in Santa Fe. Some of the ladies are in the Denver area and Shannon's in Denver and then in Alabama as well. So we rarely come together, but we were together this weekend. We were chit-chatting, supporting each other, having a belated birthday celebration. Had my birthday on August 13th. And Shannon's birthday is coming up this week on the 20th. So we got together to enjoy each other's company, do a little birthday celebration. And that got us thinking about the topic that we wanted to share with you guys today. Birthdays, they can be fun, but they can be heavy. They can be times of reflections. They can be times of disappointment. So we got to thinking and chatting about birthday memories. So that's what we want to talk about today. So I'm going to get us started and share a birthday memory with all of you. When I was about 11 years old, no, I was 10 years old. My parents got separated and eventually they got divorced. So my whole 11th year was a challenging year, was a tough year as a child growing up and, having a lot of chaos and a lot of changes in my little life at that point. We used to go to this little reservoir, little dam area that has like a little beach area, Cherry Creek Reservoir for all the Denver folks. So it was my mom and my sisters and a couple of friends. So we went to the dam. We probably had a little barbecue, probably did hot dogs, hamburgers. We played on the beach, had chips and whatnot. And I'm like a child, I'm like waiting. Okay, we did the hot dogs. We did the chips. Where's my cake? I want my birthday cake. I didn't get a birthday cake. I don't know why. I don't know if my mom just forgot or didn't think about it or just I don't know. I didn't have a birthday cake. So I was really disappointed. It was already a hard year and not to have a birthday cake. When you're 11, you're still young. You're still a kid. You get the joy of the birthday cake and blowing out the candles. So anyway, went home and that was that. So at this birthday, I had a really good friend in elementary school. Her name was Ruth Upton. Lost touch with her after that, but Ruthie was at my birthday. We're back to school the following day. I come home from school that day and later in the party, I hear a knock on the door and I go to the door. And it's Ruthie. It's my friend Ruth with a birthday cake because she saw it. She saw that I was disappointed. She saw that I was sad. When I think about like the nicest thing that anybody's ever done for me, that's like the first memory that I have is Ruthie showing up at my house during a really hard time in my life with what I wanted. And that was a birthday cake. So that's my birthday memory. Who wants to go next? Sundays.
I don't know where Ruthie is these days. Have you told her this story?
No, we lost and we went separate ways as we grew up. And I have looked for her name like on social media, but I haven't found her. But if anybody knows Ruth Upton from Aurora, Colorado, back in the mid 80s, send her my way.
Well, I guess I'll go next. So when we originally talked about this topic, Paula said my birthday's coming up here on the 21st. But one of the birthdays that really stood out was my 11th birthday. And I thought it was my 10th birthday, but it's actually my 11th birthday because I remember it was when the Tone Loc cassette came out and it was, the one with Wild Thing on it. Wild Thing, I was super excited to get this cassette. And we had a little radio, the radio that you played outside, you plugged it in. Anyway, so we were down in Magnum, Arizona. My cousins were there and we had a birthday and we played my new cassette and my cousins, we had all just gone shopping. And so we put on a little fashion show and my poor cousin, there was one male cousin at the time. And he always got dragged into our fashion shows, poor guy. Sorry if you're watching this. His birthday is actually August 14th. I never forget his birthday because we're just just a few days apart. But happy birthday, by the way. Yeah, so we did our fashion show and I got to listen to my new Tone Loc cassette. And I remember my uncle. So my uncle's parents, Romy and Glenn, they didn't have any grandchildren of their own. And he used to do this thing so his dentures would pop out. And he used to scare us all the time. It was the coolest thing though. So he scared us, but it was really cool. And at the time we didn't know they were dentures. We just this man's teeth would just pop out. I loved I loved Glenn. He was just an amazing man. So Glenn and Romy, and they had passed away many, many years ago. Like I said, they didn't have any grandchildren, but I know that they thought of all of us as grandchildren because they were there at the birthdays and they were there celebrating and participating in the fashion shows and the first swims and stuff. And so I remember that. I remember him popping his teeth out as we were listening to Tone Loc, Funky Cole Medina. Wow thing. It was great.
Talk about a wild thing.
It was wonderful. It was and that was a great birthday. But I will say this too. This weekend we did celebrate my 47th birthday. We celebrated a little bit early. We celebrated Paula's a little late here, and it was fabulous because it was time to celebrate it. It was great to celebrate with my tribe. This would have been probably an isolated birthday for me. I came to Colorado and some life changes have been going on with me right now, some relationship status changes and stuff. And it's nice to be here with my family. It's nice to be here. I don't even want to say friends because these ladies are my family. And so it's just been great to celebrate with them. Ate great food, amazing food. My dad's wife made amazing food for us. And a great dessert. I think we all ate probably more than we should have. And then she made some piñatas and we went out there and hit some piñatas. I'm sure we looked absolutely ridiculous.
Ooh.
And
We knew somebody knocked the top of the cake off.
And Savvy got a little aggressive. So
My first time.
yeah, so it was Minu's first time.
First time, yes. Never done it and truly enjoyed it.
Go ahead and keep yourself.
Birthday memory. Well, every birthday has been special for me. I'm very fortunate to be blessed by a very loving family and friends. My daughter goes way and above to celebrate my birthday. I don't know what did I do to earn that, but the one that truly stood out is 2 years ago, my parents were here in United States and they don't drive the car. They are completely dependent on me. And my mother was like, I want to make her something, but I don't know what I can. So I go to work and I in the morning I'm saying, oh, I'm your 10-year-old girl. What are you going to gift me this year? And she's like, you're old. I said, no, you need to gift me something. And she goes to my son's room, picks up some scrap paper, and there's an art called quilling. It is all about paper folding. And she makes me this beautiful nameplate with my last name. And she was so nervous gifting it to me that, it's not up to the mark, but the thought behind and the effort she put, it just stands out. It's a fantastic memory, and I'm very thankful for my mother to show her creativity for the first time. And I pushed her after that. Now she's retired to pursue her dreams, and she does art full time, teaches to underprivileged children, and is doing good.
That's amazing. So your subtle request for a birthday present really opened up another door for your mom to have a creative outlet. That's awesome.
All right, I'll go. So I've always been like a club kid at heart. Always, would go dancing and clubbing and like just really like I remember my friends and we would even get together at my friend's, I guess we probably shouldn't say names, in her basement, and we would come up with dances. And like sometimes it would be like full on hip hop dances. And sometimes it would be like totally like new wave dances to like Cure songs. So yeah, that's always what I liked to do growing up as a kid. And it makes me a little bit sad to say, like, I don't remember one specific birthday because I feel like that makes me sound ungrateful, but I'm sure that you, especially Paula, probably tried to do special things on my birthday. And so forgive me if I don't remember specifically one. But what stands out in my mind because of my upbringing, what I like to do for fun is I think it was my 13th, it had to have been my 14th birthday because we used to go to a club called Mirage. And to get into that club, you had to show a high school ID. And so that was how they knew that you were technically of age and allowed to be out until 11:30, because also in Colorado up until like maybe 15 years ago, was it, that we had curfew laws. So if you were underage, you had to be indoors by, I think it was 11:30 or 12. And so it was a privilege to be out that late. So my friends and I got together. We practiced our dance. We got all dressed up. And that was at the time that like the MC Hammer pants were in style. But you also had the pants that like opened up like a butterfly and then they had a button in the front. You guys remember those? Gliders, and they were tight at the bottom. And so we made up this dance. We go to Mirage. My friend mom drives us in her Mercedes, and they would call her Sadie. And my birthday's in January. And so it was cold, and they would like rub the dashboard because it wasn't like a very good car. It was a Mercedes, but sometimes it wouldn't start because it was cold. And so her mom, she would have us like rub the dashboard. Come on, Sadie. Come on, Sadie. You can do it, Sadie. And she drove us in the Mercedes to Mirage. And we did our little dance. And I think it had to have been some sort of like Belle Biv DeVoe or like Milli Vanilli, because I remember doing like the side sweep as part of like our dance, where you cross your foot in front of the other. And yeah, I remember that was one of my birthdays, all my girls doing dances at Mirage nightclub.
What's interesting is when I first started hanging out with Carolina, she would travel with her dancing shoes. When we used to go out, she traveled with dancing shoes everywhere.
Tennis shoes.
Yeah.
Sneakers.
Yeah, little sneakers.
She'd go out in heels,
yep,
and I'd be like, I
she'd
got
be
my
like,
dancing
I
shoes.
got my dancing shoes. Let me go grab my dancing shoes. She'd have her dancing shoes. So to this day,
I do.
Still has her dancing shoes. I love it.
Thank you.
That's so funny. I was wondering when you remember when we were driving to Pagosa and we were going up the pass and she started rubbing on her vehicle and she's like, "Come on, baby.
Swagger wagon.
What do you name? What's her name?
The swagger wagon.
Yeah,
the
swagger wagon. She can do it. She can do it." Is that where you got that from?
Swagger wagon has 240,000 miles on it. Yeah. Chrysler Town and Country minivan, my swagger wagon. That's how I get my girls around. And my family.
And us. Are you
Yep.
kidding? You picked us up for our last trip and it was a wonderful drive.
Yeah.
I think we even had some spiritual moments on that drive.
For sure we did. We did some praise and worship in there.
I actually had a birthday memory I was going to talk about with Shannon, but then all of a sudden I had a flashback. And my memory is actually funny, but sad, but funny. So I don't know, maybe like second grade, maybe third grade. I can't remember. My mom was having a birthday party for me. And I have a brother who I don't think he's not on the spectrum, but some of his tendencies show to be on the spectrum. And so he dealt with behavioral issues a lot. And so my mom went to hand him birthday cake, right? And he didn't want it. So she gave it to another little girl and he beat the little girl up. He attacked her because my mom gave her the cake and it was so mortifying. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Oh yeah, I was traumatized. But my eyes got big during the episode because I was like, where'd this memory come from? So I thought I'd share that because it was funny, but traumatizing, but still funny. I laugh about it to this day and I think, really, boy, you want some cake now? You want some cake now?
Does he never turn down a piece of cake now?
No, he doesn't. He loves the cake. He loves the cake now. It's funny.
I remember when I was probably like 12, 13, I had a group of friends that threw a surprise party for me down in my friend's basement. And I remember us singing all night and they, made me this awesome cake that said happy birthday instead of happy birthday on it. That was
Say
one thing.
hippie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Good stuff.
That was one. When I think of birthdays, like what stands out in my mind most recently is just doing the kids' birthdays. So I remember making like one of Skylar's first birthdays, we made her like an Elmo cake, and then it turned into a whole other thing where we made cupcakes that were all those Sesame Street characters, but they were those little star frosting things. So all of us, our hands the next day were so sore from doing all the but my nieces and nephews did them with me. It was really super fun. So that's what stands out. I love doing other people's parties, celebrating other people's birthdays.
For sure, especially motherhood, I feel like brings birthdays to the next level, especially the cake, because I have a memory like that too. You were there, Ari's cake. I tried to make him a basketball cake, and I think I decorated the basketball as like a football. I didn't do the lines correctly. And so Paula was there, and I was like freaking out. Everybody was about to come over. And she's like, "Just give me that." And she takes, and perfect Paula style, "Just give me that. I'll do it. Just you go get ready." Because I think it was like in my jammies still. And she just got like a spatula out and she's just like started smearing it. And she like looked up how to do the lines. And so the only thing that was like the actual line with like the little stars that your hands get sore from is the black lines. And then everything else was just like kind of smeared. But he didn't know it was his first birthday. And so he was just like, "No." And yeah, it was fun. Like we have the pictures of, the orangish, reddish basketball colored frosting all over his face. And that's the goal, right?
I have a quick question. I know, Savvy, you want to say something, but do you have a picture of that cake that you wanted to make so perfect?
I probably do have a picture of the cake somewhere. Yes, I'm sure I do. I definitely have a picture of like where I was to how it ended because I think I was like, Paula, I need your help. Look at this cake. It's barely halfway done.
So how many kitchen moments do we have like that of all the parties we've done over the years and kitchen moments of like, oh, these people are going to be here and something, something, something. And everybody has to jump in and help, right?
All hands on deck. Yep.
And that is true Paula fashion. Give me that. And she fixed it and it's like, bing.
All right, Miss Savvy, what do you want to say?
What I was gonna say though, I did have a really good birthday memory because I do want to say that I used to do surprise parties for people and decorate their doors and stuff like that, and just try to make them feel special. But I never got that in my life. It wasn't reciprocated. So when I rekindled my relationship here with my dearest love, Shannon, she surprised me one night with a candlelit dinner and wine. It was so pretty. It was dark. I remember we have pictures because it was like the ambiance was really dark and just inviting. And no, we're not lovers. So it wasn't that kind of birthday party, but it did have that feel. And it was just so, romantic and intimate. And I really enjoyed that. And it was one of the most special occasions that I've ever experienced. So I'll say openly, thank you for making me feel like $1,000,000 when I felt like shit. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And I love you.
I love you too. I enjoyed our dinners on the balcony. It was nice. It was nice to celebrate you.
It's awesome, you guys. So, what I keep thinking about when we share these memories of birthdays and whatnot, what always makes it special at the end of the day is that somebody, in my case, my friend Ruth, in Tanisha's case, Shannon, for Carolina, maybe it was me, maybe it was someone else. For Minu, her mom. For all of us, what makes us a moment stand out is that we feel seen. We feel like we've been heard, like somebody was paying attention, that we needed something. I needed that birthday cake when my parents were getting divorced and I was 11 years old. Tanisha needed that recognition that somebody saw her making all these efforts. And it's nice when somebody sees that and reciprocates it. She wanted that birthday present, even though, as an adult, we still want a little validation. And her mom heard that and saw that and felt that and took the time out of her day to make her feel special. So I think that's just a reminder for all of us that we should be present in our lives. We should be, I hate to say the word should, but it serves us to be present, to be attentive, to be watching what other people need, what other people are telling us they need. Because you can change someone's day. You can change someone's life when you're paying attention and hearing them and seeing them. That's the message that I'm taking away from all of our stories today. So just a little word of encouragement maybe to all of you who are thinking, how can I make a difference? Just pay attention. Look around you. See what people are telling you that they need. Savvy, did you want to say something?
I did. I also am reminded of the gift that was given yesterday. And rest her soul. Miss Lisa made a blanket for Shannon's dad and a blanket. And he gifted her that yesterday. And we just lost Miss Lisa. I hope you don't mind me saying that, but we did. We just lost Miss Lisa. And that was just such a beautiful, thoughtful gift in the time of this moment. Just like you were just saying, people see you. And so I just have to say that was a very thoughtful gift of him to give that, something so time consuming and precious. And I still have my blanket. My blanket wasn't made for me. I just happened to pick up a blanket that just felt special to me. And I was just really happy for that moment from your dad.
Yeah. So Miss Lisa is my mother who passed away. And actually, I was actually thinking about her because, it's my birthday. And when we think about our birthdays, people are like, oh, was it really hard on the anniversary of her passing, of your mom's passing, or was it hard on her birthday? No, my first birthday without my mother was hard because that's the person who was there. That's the person who brought you in this world. That's the person who was there at your birthday. So that's the person who's always been there. So my first birthday without my mother was hard. So this is my second birthday without my mom. I definitely think about my mom on my birthday because I still have her voicemail that says happy birthday, happy birthday, baby. I have that voicemail still that I've kept and I listen to on my birthday, which again, this is just my second birthday without her. But It's, having that blanket too. It's still upstairs. I haven't brought it down. When I'm going to touch it again.
You need to have your moment with it.
Yes.
Just you and that blanket.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she sewed a lot and she made a lot of blankets, and it was really nice that my dad regifted it to me.
All right, friends. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's Sunday. Thanks for coming over and hanging out at the table with us. We'll see you soon.
And if today is your birthday, happy birthday. Have a Sunday on us.